Hello, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a nice day, a beautiful day. I hope their days are going along just fine. Um, Today I was reading a comment about, what did I mean about double life? And it prompted me to make a YouTube about understanding um, what we're talking about if you haven't grown up Jehovah Witness. And that's what this video is going to be on. The person asked about a double life. What is a double life? Because you know, they didn't grow up as a Jehovah Witness. And so, first, how can I do this? Okay, I want to make it so that the person not so that the person would will the person will not just understand about double life, but understand what we're talking about whenever we talk about it. As a Jehovah Witness, I grew up as a Jehovah Witness. That's all I can remember. I mean, I'm almost sure maybe I was like 3 or 4, maybe 4 or no. Okay, let me see. It must have been around 4 or 3, 2 or 3 when I when my mother started studying as a Jehovah Witness, and her 3 sisters, she wanted all 4. One sister didn't agree, and I guess they were Jehovah Witnesses all at once. I don't know. They were close knit family. They grew up. Not They have brothers also, but the brothers like moved away from home, so the sisters stuck together, and I guess they wanted to bring up the children the same way. Although my father has something to do with it too. I guess when my mother asked, because my mother asked father, my father, she was married other time, and he said it would be good. So anyway, I put that in the last videos. I'm not going to go over that anymore. I just want to make it easier for people. Not easier, but I want people to understand for those who haven't grown up as a Jehovah Witness. The reason why I told you the beginning is because it has a lot to do with the Jehovah Witnesses. It's actually growing up as a Jehovah Witness mostly. And because when you grow up as a Jehovah Witness, your family members grow up as, are together. When they grow up, they pretty much think the same way. But you're not exposed to, I'm not going to say the world as if it's, the Jehovah Witness term. They use the world. I'm not going to explain it that way. I'm going to explain it so that you'll get a greater understanding of the whole, of how we are as ex-Jehovah Witnesses and Jehovah Witnesses. It's a sect, okay. And they grow up, you got to look at it as like a small sect. Don't look at it as a big sect yet, but look at it as like a group of people who don't want to be exposed to the outer world. I mean, everything is the world, but they make their own terms. They don't associate with people outside their group. They pretty much stay, all the decisions and everything are made within. And then they have like like their jobs, if they own businesses, or if they have, or if they're bosses and different jobs, they'll hire just Jehovah Witnesses. A lot of them have just Jehovah Witnesses working for them, like in construction and things like this. So it's like a big family. It's like nobody else can get in. You really can't, because they just deal with each other and they trust each other and they do things the same way. Okay? So that's where all the terms come from. And when you're at home as a Jehovah Witness is the same as when you're out with the other Jehovah Witnesses. You pretty much talk about the same things. I mean, I know in a family they have like personal things, but as far as politics, you got to look at it this way. As far as politics are concerned, anything to do with the government, anything to do with the future, anything to do with the past, and they pretty much live in the future. I mean, in the present. Anything to do with entertainment, all of those things are the same with every family as far as the Jehovah Witnesses are concerned. So everybody has to, have this state of being as, okay, so I'm not going to use their terms now, and then you can understand when I do make up a term. So everybody lives the same way. I mean, if I go to another state and I go to the meetings, okay, and you got to look at this. When we say meetings, it's like going to church, okay? So they don't believe in cross. I know a lot of things you already understand, but you got to look at it that way, as if everybody does the same thing, okay? So if everybody has to do the same thing, you can go anywhere and pretty much know how everybody else thinks and what's required of them. So because of that, which is not real, it's not the real world, and I'm not using the world in their terminology. So, how can I put this? So everybody does the same thing. It's like a culture within a culture, okay? They make their own culture, but only their culture it's spread about, but it's always the same thing. Because you can pretty much go anywhere. You can go to another state and still have it's the exact same thing. Because when I went to Florida, and I'm not going to tell the stories, but I went to the meeting in Florida, meeting church, and it was the exact same thing. Everybody was exactly the same thing. So then, everybody knows human nature. I mean, you don't have to understand Jehovah Witnesses to know human nature. There's things that people want, things that people like. The reason why I understand a lot, because I have a big family. I had a big family in the Jehovah Witness church. And I had a lot of friends from different Spanish, rich, medium, poor, all of them. Okay, so that's why I could pretty much tell how things go. So what I wanted to say, you said double life. The person in the comment didn't understand double life. Because of that, you have strict rules. You have to be the same way all the time. It's just, you just know it when you grow up. When you grow up in the Jehovah Witness, you know how to be. So, say if I'm not going to use my example, but say if I'm in a I'm a Jehovah Witness. And say I like to do something bad, okay? Usually when you say double life, it's pretty much something negative to do with the Jehovah Witnesses. So I'm going to mention something, a little thing, okay? Although it's not little to them. Just say I like to smoke, which is pretty much hard to do. I'm just giving you an example. A smoker, okay? That one will be pretty hard to be in a Jehovah Witness, because especially nowadays, maybe in the 80s or 90s, it kind of passed by, but hardly anybody smokes now, so it's pretty much detectable as far as the Jehovah Witness is concerned. But my sister smoked when she was, and there's things that she did. I mean, she smoked secretly. You know, um, she had a double life. That's what you call a double life as far as the Jehovah Witness is concerned. That's a small example, but I remember when we were kids and we would go over her house, and she would hide the cigarettes in one of her chairs. Furniture is different back then because the chairs were really big and you could hide stuff in the couch or something. Um, so one time I could tell that she was getting her cigarettes in the thing, but I didn't even say anything. I'm almost sure my brother could tell too. But she didn't let anybody know. She didn't want anybody to know. And that's what you call a double life. That's a small example, but think of other scenarios and you can figure it out, okay? Some people maybe have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and they do sex with them. In Jehovah's Witness, you can't do things like that. You can't even talk about it. Like I said, if I go to another congregation and I meet a lot of friends, there's no way in the world I'm going to mention anything about sex. I'm going to mention anything about anything to do with doing something with someone, okay? Sexually. But you can have a double life. With a double life, you have to be very careful. Jehovah's Witnesses would really know how to do it. When you have a double life, you pretty much know what you're doing. It's not like you're doing it. I'm sure there's some that do it with their wives or their spouses. But I'm just talking about giving you an example. Say because I've talked to some people and they told me, the people that are not Jehovah's Witnesses and they knew Jehovah's Witnesses and they knew about their double lives, okay? Some of them, like I said, they would call that fornication. If you're like having sex with someone and you're not married and they're not a Jehovah's Witness, that's a double life. And they could do it pretty good because they already know what to do. They know what not to say, what not to do, and they can do it just as long as they don't get caught by another Jehovah's Witness or it has to be a Jehovah's Witness. It's not like I'm saying, it's not God. I mean, it seems like you would think that in the real world, I'm not using the world as their example, in the real world you have a conscience. Your conscience, and you know God is watching you. But with Jehovah's Witnesses, you're worried about people watching you, okay? So a double life is hiding from the other Jehovah's Witnesses, but doing a great job, just not letting anybody catch you. And you go throughout the Jehovah's Witness and living your life and not letting anybody find out. So that's a double life. But when I was talking about, this is another thing, I was mentioning on my YouTubes about a secret life or living in a box. I came up with something because I'm observing everything that happened to me. And like I said, me and someone, I think she's from England, Anna, I guess her name is on the comments, we came up with this thing called, a box. Right now, you go through all the things that happen to you as Jehovah's Witness. Take your time and little by little. And we came up with this box. And in one of the boxes, our Jehovah's Witness box, I found that everyone's living, and I say pretty much everyone, has their own secret box. And someone else took it to where I was talking about a double life, but I didn't say anything. But the comment that someone gave me made me, now I'm going into detail about the box or the life that I'm talking about. So forget about the double life now. I explained that away. Now I'm going to be more precise about what I was talking about in some of the tapes when I was talking about a box. It's about your life, okay? Things that you want to do, and you keep it to yourself. Every Jehovah's Witness has to keep it to themselves. You can't expose it to other people, like things that you want to do naturally. Like, for instance, Maybe somebody always wanted to be a dancer, or somebody always wanted to be famous, or somebody wanted to be a writer, or somebody wanted to own a company by themselves. Anything that they want to do that doesn't, or go to college or something like that. Anything that they want to do that they have to say for the new system or whatever, they keep it in a box. They don't tell anyone. It's just bottled up inside of them. Believe me, I knew a lot of people like this. I had a friend who always loved to play the guitar. I don't think he wanted to be famous or anything, but he wanted to just do a lot of music, you know. But he couldn't because the schedule was very tight as far as being a Jehovah Witness. So he has that bottled up inside him. I call it like a little box, you know. And that's not a double life. Okay, so now I explained what I really wanted to say when I was talking about, because I never really explained about a double life. Someone took it as I was saying a double life, which was all right with me. But now I want to be more specific, since this person doesn't, you know, they don't really, it kind of confusing them about what the box, that's probably what confused them, was the fact that I was talking about something else, and then I said, you know, the double life. But anyway, that clears up everything. And that's just like God. God's going to make sure that everything is going to be cleared as far as with the ex-Jehovah Witnesses. Because, I'm sorry, I just came from work, so I'm kind of like fidgety. But I have to do my tapes, and they're very important to me. And I was talking to Jehovah. I was, you know, praying. I was saying, you know what? It's really fulfilling, you know what I mean? To do these tapes and everything, and to listen to the brothers and sisters. So now we know. So we have a double life when you're actually doing something very wrong. So you could have a double life. Okay, let's not make it more complicated. So you have your double life, and then you have your thing that you want to do in life, and you keep it to yourself because it really doesn't go along with the organization. It doesn't have anything to do with anything bad, really. I know, excuse me, I know my mother. Okay, so we finished that. So let me see if I have to explain anything else to you first. Anything else? So excuse me, I'm almost sure that will help you, the person, understand what a double life is. And next time when I do give videos, I'll explain as if some people, because I didn't realize that there were some people who didn't understand what was going on, but I really do appreciate them coming around and listening, because I know that my YouTube station, I know I have the Jehovah Witness thing, but I do other things. So I appreciate the people who are interested in other things. I do come and listen to my ex-Jehovah Witness tapes, okay? So I wanted to say this about my mother, because my mother had a special things that she wanted, and this is really like, she was trapped, and the box pretty much tells you that you're trapped. I know she really liked, okay, I'm going to tell you how I found out. Okay, I was in Houston, Texas, okay? I didn't really like living there. But anyway, I was in Houston, Texas, and I know my mother had passed away, and I wanted to really know what she really loved in life. I really did. I mean, and I prayed to her. I know you can do it. I mean, if God is there, He'll help you and stuff like that. They make it, and then you're able to. I mean, they're not going to talk to you. I mean, or anything. Everybody who knows God and appreciates God, they know how to. What I'm talking about. It's nothing weird or anything. It's just out of love. You. It's like God is there, but you're like, I wonder. You know they're with God, and you go, I just wonder what you loved. You know what I mean? That's all. And then I was in this store. I was in this store where I buy sandwiches and stuff, and breakfast, like a little restaurant store, because they sell other things. And they were selling these vinyls, okay? And you know, you can wait and you can ask something, and you don't know how the answer is going to come. So that's what I'm saying. It comes so naturally, and it's so beautiful, you know. And it was like I got this feeling like to look at these vinyls, and they never had vinyls there, but they were selling these vinyls. They were old, and I looked at them, and Johnny Mathis, and I could just feel that that was her answer. It was like she really loved Johnny Mathis, and I know she did because I got it in one of my tapes. I just know because something that happened, and she did anything to go to his concert. And anything to go to his concert. And she was Jehovah Witness. She didn't care if she was going to get caught, whatever. But if you listen to these tapes, all of them, then you understand. But it's a lot. I'm almost sure if somebody listened to the tape about my mother and Johnny Mathis, then you would know. It's all the way in the back, all the way in the front, all the way in the first ones, if you're really interested. It's a good TV, I mean, if you're interested. Good story. But that was her in her box. And I think she used Johnny Mathis because her life was, she really did a lot of work. I couldn't do what she did with her family, you know. She was a single mother at one time. She got married. I'm almost sure she got married because for her children. And like I said, I'm sorry for doing all this because, you know, I just got off from work. It was a really, you know, hectic day. But I have to do my tapes. So that was in her box. I know in my family had things in there. All of them had boxes. My friends, I could pretty much tell, you know. So I hope this helped out for those of you who just come and visit, you know, and listen to the Ex-Jehovah Witnesses talk, okay? Thank you very much. I hope everybody's having a nice time. And I got to do Christmas carols sometime. But there's somebody, one of my roommates, they got sick. They got like a fever or a headache. So I'm going to cool out on the music for a little while. So I won't be doing music, but I'm doing an art project. Okay, so thank you very much. I really enjoy these YouTubes. Thanks for the comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.